Yeah, I think there's a lot of great things going on at the moment. A lot of good people are doing some really good things with Worthing now. I think there are some parts of Worthing that really do need a lot of attention, like Tevilgate, you know, the endless problem with Tevilgate. I think that could be improved enormously. It's been improved a bit, but by all the guys going in there and doing the lovely murals and everything, but I think that's just about the most awful part of Worthing at the moment. I think a lot more stuff for young people. I think one of the reasons why young people get into trouble and cause disruption in any town is because they're bored and there's not enough for them to do. I don't know if there is forgive my ignorance if there's a skateboard park for kids in Worthing, but if there isn't, I think there should be. Yeah, principally that, and they seem to be addressing the car parking to a degree, so the charges for car parking, so that's good. And just lots more community involvement in green spaces, which I know some of us are trying to address.
I would say Worthing needs some independent shops for a start, with a little bit more fun and excitement rather than chains coming into the town every 5 minutes. Because otherwise Worthing just looks no different from any other town centre that you might wish to go to.
So developing the character.
Developing the character, yeah. Just have some more interesting ideas with whether it be shops or art centres or anything and everything really, apart from the stereotypical things that are going on in every other town in the country.
I think it's already got the people. I think just sort of harbouring everyone's needs really, but I think it's a bit more difficult. It's easier said than done, obviously. But no, I don't know. I mean, personally, I think more sort of like perhaps community-based venues. You know, I think what Scotney's doing is starting something really cool. I think.
Which is that? What's that? What's he doing?
He's making his own venue, I suppose it is. I think he's using it as like a practice space as well. You know, like sort of community, like recording studio. It's kind of a bit more like getting all the bands involved in putting events there as well. It's not just one guy, one promoter, this sort of thing. It's kind of trying to get loads of bands involved in one thing, trying to sort of build a scene around an establishment.
A space for people who have talent, art, creativity to facilitate them to share that with a wider space.
And hopefully people outside of Worthing as well to come down. You know, if we got our own little scene going on, I think it'd be kind of nice to perhaps people outside London, Brighton, wherever, Southampton, Portsmouth, to come down and see what all the talk's about. Hopefully.
Good grief, no. Ugh, horrible.
Why do you think? What inspires those
Well,
feelings?
because, I mean, Worthing is not that kind of town, you know. We're not a modern, high-risey kind of town. I don't think there's any really high-rise blocks of flats in Worthing, not massive ones anyway.
No.
And I like it when they take, you know, traditional areas and replace it with traditional type buildings, like they did with the Wine Lodge. Put a beautiful traditional building there, and some of the others along. You know, I think that's much nicer.
So you're not adverse to respectful, in keeping with the surrounding environment kind of development?
Oh, absolutely
per se.
not. No.
But would you suggest that?
Well, not unless it's covering open green spaces. If it's if it's on brownfield sites or old areas that have where the buildings are semi-derelict and they've been knocked down, fine, but certainly not filling up green spaces with buildings.
And that's unnecessary, isn't it? Really.
How many green spaces do we have in Worthing?
Yeah.
Not too many.
But would you suggest that a building of the stature of 21 stories, do you think that is in any way in keeping with the surrounding environment?
Absolutely not, and the thought of that horrifies me.
No, I don't see it as iconic. Can't see how a square high-rise building on the seafront could possibly be iconic. I don't see it as being a positive in any aspect whatsoever for the town. I just don't see it. All it's going to do is it's just obviously more development, which means more traffic, which means more chaos on the roads, etc., etc. I just don't see that being possible in any way.
And of course that's one of the bottlenecks into what they call the Eastern Gateway into Worthing. At Brighton Road there, it's clogged up at least twice a day during the week, and surely that will only lead to more of that
Absolutely,
pressure.
absolutely. I mean, and you know, the network, the road network, is just not capable of dealing with that. Equally, the parking is not capable of dealing with all that. You know, with a business in town myself, I have to park miles out of town because I can't afford to park in town.
In all sorts of manners, no, not at all. I think it's definitely something we don't particularly need, and especially in that location. It is a massive eyesore. I think, you know, looking at perhaps the architecture of the buildings that have been here, you know, I suppose ever since I've moved here, you know, pre that, so many years, it just doesn't seem to fit in at all. It seems to be completely out of place, to be honest with you, and I think it's a bit of a waste of, you know, a brownfield site, to be honest with you. I think it's a big space that sort of provides a big opportunity for anything, to be honest with you, but not that. I suppose going to, I don't know what you would call it, but I mean, it's like, for example, one I just mentioned next to Burlington, they had a sales and marketing suite, which they had a few I don't know, say exhibitions or shows, or
like an exhibit, I think they call it public consultation.
Okay, and yeah, I suppose that would be the first place to go to. If not, perhaps talking to your town manager or anyone else involved in the council around that sort of field.
The guys in charge of Worthing, or the guys in charge of the country, or I think listen to the people. Listen to what people have to say. You know, we all have a voice, we all have an opinion, and I think an awful lot of the time the local people aren't listened to. I think even when people protest about things, they're not always listened to, so I think listen to the people.
I guess my only message would be maybe to interact with the businesses in Worthing a little bit better, and the people that come into Worthing, and ask them some pertinent questions, and listen to the answers and act upon those answers, because I'm not 100% convinced that is happening. So it would be very nice to think that they were taking part in, you know, the culture and everything else is going in Worthing, and seeing which way it's going. And move forward from there. Otherwise, we'll be stuck in the dark ages, I think. And you know, so yeah, I think that would be my answer. It would be nice for the council to get more involved with the businesses in particular, to find out what the needs are of those businesses and how it's all going to come together and work.
Just listen to what your people, the people that are living here, the majority, you know, perhaps not. You know, just the people that are living here, listen to what they've got to say. It's not about who gets the bigger share of the pie or whatever. It's all about what people want, about people that live here want. Nothing else, nothing more. That's it.